Your body has this personal, totally invisible defense force. It's on guard 24/7, fighting these tiny battles you never even see. So today, we're going to break down the master plan that, well, keeps you alive and kicking.
I mean, really think about it for a second. With every single breath you take, every surface you touch, you're coming into contact with millions of invisible invaders. So what's stopping them from making you sick all the time? Well, the answer is this absolutely brilliant and honestly, incredibly complex system.
And that system, of course, is called immunity. At its very core, it's just your body's ability to resist disease by spotting and neutralizing anything that's not supposed to be there. It's this whole network of organs and cells, and they're all working together with just one mission: keep you healthy. Now, this whole defense system isn't just, one big wall. It's a really sophisticated two-pronged strategy. You can think of it like a master plan that has two main branches, and each one has a very different but totally essential job to do. This flowchart right here, this lays out the entire plan. It's basically our roadmap for this explainer. And as you can see, immunity splits into two big categories: innate and acquired. So let's dive in and tackle them one by one. So first up is your innate immunity. I want you to think of this part as the general security force. They're the first responders, always on patrol, ready to react to any threat, anytime, without needing any kind of prior warning. And the really crucial point here is that this is the system you were born with. It's your natural or native immunity. It doesn't have to learn about a specific germ to fight it. Nope, it's already pre-programmed to recognize common threats and just launch an immediate general attack. So how does it pull this off? Well, it uses four kinds of barriers. First, you've got your anatomical barriers, like your skin, which is literally a physical wall blocking microbes, while your mucous membranes just trap them. Then you have physiologic barriers. A fever, for example, makes your body way too hot for some germs to survive. And your stomach acid? It's so powerful, it destroys most things you swallow. Next are the phagocytic barriers. These are actual cells that act like little Pac-Man, just gobbling up and destroying microbes. And finally, you have the inflammatory barriers. That's what's happening when you get a cut. The area gets all red and swollen because your body is rushing resources to the site to fight off any infection. It's an all-hands-on-deck situation. But what happens when a really nasty invader gets past these first responders? Well, that's when your body calls in the specialists, the elite forces of your immune system, your acquired immunity. So unlike the innate system, this is the part of your immunity that you develop or acquire throughout your life. It's the intelligent system. When it sees a new enemy, what scientists call an antigen, it doesn't just fight it. It studies it, it learns its weaknesses, and most importantly, it remembers. This system has four just incredible characteristics. First is antigenic specificity, which means it creates a custom-made weapon for each and every invader. Next up is diversity. It has this huge arsenal that can deal with millions of different enemies. Then there's self/non-self recognition, which is absolutely critical. It knows not to attack your own healthy cells. And then you have the superpower, the real game changer, immunologic memory. It never, ever forgets a face. This means your body only has to learn how to beat an enemy once. So how do we even get this specialist immunity? Well, there are two main ways. With active immunity, your body does all the work itself. It builds its own long-lasting memory after you get an infection or a vaccine. Passive immunity, on the other hand, is kind of like getting a temporary loan. You're given ready-made antibodies from another source. It's a great immediate boost, but since your body didn't learn how to make them, that protection, it just doesn't last. Okay, so let's actually see this thing in action. When your body launches an active immune response, this specialist unit uses two different elite strategies. It all depends on where the enemy is hiding. Right, so the fight takes one of two forms. It's either a humoral response or a cell-mediated response. I know those terms sound super complicated, but trust me, the diagrams we're about to look at will make it all crystal clear. First up, we have humoral immunity. This strategy is for fighting invaders that are outside yourselves. Like bacteria just floating around in your body fluids. If you follow the diagram, you'll see a B cell recognizes the microbe, and then it transforms into an antibody factory, just pumping out these specialized proteins. These antibodies then swarm the invader, they neutralize it, and they mark it for destruction by those little Pac-Man cells we talked about earlier. But what if the invader is hiding inside your own cells, like a virus? That's where cellular immunity comes into play. If you look at this diagram, you can see an infected cell is basically waving a red flag. It's showing a piece of the virus on its surface. A helper T cell spots this distress signal and calls in the assassins, the killer T cells. These guys lock on and destroy the entire infected cell, completely getting rid of the virus's hiding place. It is a true search and destroy mission. So if we boil all of this amazing complexity down to just one key takeaway, it's this. Your acquired immune system isn't just a soldier, it's also a historian. Every single battle it wins becomes a permanent part of its memory, and that allows it to launch a much faster, much stronger response if it ever sees that enemy again.
And that brings us to a final thought. We've just seen how our bodies have this incredible natural power to learn from and remember invaders. So knowing that, how does it change the way you see modern medicine, like vaccines? They're essentially a training manual, right? They're designed to teach your immune system how to win the fight before the real battle even begins. It's really a powerful fusion of our own natural biology and human ingenuity, something to think about.